Imagine opening your front door to find a blood-red eviction notice slapped on it like a scarlet letter, declaring you a squatter on land your family bled for, only for the smug HOA queen behind it to discover she's the one trespassing on your empire. In that split second, the tables turn, and her meticulously painted facade cracks wide open, exposing the rotten core beneath. Daniel Thompson had always been the quiet type. The guy who nodded politely at neighborhood barbecues but kept to himself up at the old cabin by Willow Lake. At 38, with calloused hands from years of carpentry gigs and a wardrobe that screamed practical over flashy, he wasn't one for drama. His grandfather's place wasn't some McMansion with granite countertops and smart lights, it was weathered pine logs, a creaky porch swing, and a view of the lake that could make you forget the world's BS. But in Whispering Pines subdivision, a cookie-cutter slice of American suburbia where every lawn was mowed to exactly 2 inches and mailboxes matched like soldiers on parade, Daniel's cabin stuck out like a rebel flag in a sea of conformity. The air here was thick with unspoken rules, HOA rules. Of course, enforced by none other than Barbara Klein, the self-crowned empress of order. Barbara, with her pearl necklace choking her like a noose of propriety and her voice that dripped honey over venom, ruled the board like it was her personal fiefdom. Community standards keep us civilized, she'd coo at meetings, her smile never reaching her eyes, while fining folks for the crime of planting daisies instead of approved tulips. Daniel had heard the whispers, how she twisted bylaws to bully newcomers, how her inspections always targeted those who didn't kiss the ring. But he stayed silent, watching from his porch as her minivan cruised the streets like a shark patrolling its reef. Little did she know, he was cataloging every drive-by glare, every passive-aggressive note left in mailboxes. Patience wasn't weakness, it was his weapon, sharpened over years of seeing folks like her steamroll the little guy. It started innocently enough, or so Barbara would claim later, with a routine compliance check. One crisp autumn morning, Daniel stepped out for his ritual black coffee, strong enough to strip paint, when he spotted the notice tacked to his door with a staple gun that screamed overkill. The paper fluttered like a white flag of surrender she expected him to wave. Eviction for noncompliance, unauthorized dwelling violates aesthetic and safety codes, it blared in officious font. Daniel's gut twisted. Not from fear, but from the sheer audacity. This wasn't her land, it was his grandfather's legacy. Deeded since the 60s when the subdivision was just a muddy plot developers drooled over. He ripped it down, scanning the legalese that accused his cabin of everything from eyesore status to potential hazard. Across the gravel drive, his gravel drive, Barbara lurked by her SUV, arms crossed, lips pursed in that trademark smirk of victory. A couple of neighbors, the usual busybodies with nothing better to do, hovered nearby, pretending to rake leaves while eavesdropping. "Morning, Daniel," she called out, her tone all saccharine concern. "I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but rules are rules. That shack of yours is dragging down our property values, think of the families." Daniel folded the paper slowly, meeting her gaze. "Shack? Barbara, this shack predates your cul-de-sacs. But sure, let's chat about values." She straightened, clipboard materializing like a shield. Per bylaw 7.2. All structures must match community palette. Yours looks like it time-traveled from a pioneer reenactment. You'll have 30 days to demolish or comply, or face liens. The neighbors shifted, one muttering, "That's harsh," but Barbara's eyes gleamed with that petty thrill of power. Daniel just nodded, pocketing the notice. Inside, he wasn't raging, he was plotting. He pulled out the old leather binder from his grandpa's safe, the one with the deed that outlined not just the cabin, but the entire lake. The shoreline paths everyone jogged on, and the parking lot where they stashed their boats and RVs. Okay. Barbara, he whispered to himself. You just invited yourself to the wrong party. The whispers spread like weeds in those perfectly manicured lawns. Did you hear? Daniel's getting booted, about time. That eyesore's killing our resale. Barbara fueled the fire at the next coffee clutch, sighing dramatically over her latte. It's for the greater good. Imagine buyers seeing that relic, poof. Offers vanish. But Daniel didn't bite back publicly, instead. He observed. He noted how Barbara's fines for minor infractions, like a kid's bike left on the sidewalk, always seemed to pad the HOA coffers, funding her endless board retreats to spas. One evening, as he fished off his dock, old Mr. Ramirez from down the block paddled over in his kayak. She's gunning for you, son. Fined me $150 last month for unauthorized bird feeders. Said they attract pests. Meanwhile, her cat roams free crapping on everyone's yards. Daniel reeled in a perch, smirking faintly. Bird feeders. Huh. Sounds vital to community harmony. Ramirez chuckled bitterly. She's a control freak. But watch your back, she's got friends in county offices. Sure enough, the hits kept coming. A health violation letter arrived, claiming his septic was leaching into community waters. Daniel photographed it, then called an inspector buddy for a quick check, spotless. As expected. Barbara's pulling strings, the inspector confided. She's got a cousin in permits. Daniel filed it away, his binder growing thicker. Then came the parking tickets on his own lot, his lot, for blocking access. He confronted her at the mailbox one afternoon, keeping his voice even. Tickets on private property? Bold move. She flipped her hair, feigning surprise. Oh. Daniel. That lot's essential for events. We're just ensuring fair use, think of the children. He leaned in slightly. Fair use? Like how you charge $20 a spot for lake days and pocket it. Her eyes narrowed, but she recovered with a laugh. Donations for maintenance. Dear. Now. About that eviction. The tension built like storm clouds over the lake. Daniel's silence masking a gathering fury. Neighbors started side-eyeing Barbara's new designer purse, whispering about dues hikes while the playground rusted. Daniel allied quietly, Ramirez with meeting notes. A young mom named Lisa with screenshots of Barbara's snarky emails. She's a bully in pearls, Lisa hissed. Find us for a pink flamingo, said it clashed. Daniel nodded. Clashed with her ego. Maybe. The mumbles turned to murmurs, Barbara's grip slipped. Her friendly reminders now met with eye rolls. By winter, the farce hit fever pitch. Barbara escalated to absurdity, slapping condemned signs on Daniel's fence during a neighborhood holiday light tour. Safety hazard, she trilled to the gawkers, her breath fogging in the chill. Daniel yanked one down, holding it up. Condemned by who? Your magic wand? She puffed up, voice shrill. The board unanimously agrees, your cabin's a blight. We'll tow your truck if needed. The crowd tittered nervously, one kid whispered. Mom. She's yelling like a cartoon villain. Daniel's response was a calm smile that made her flinch. Unanimous? Funny. Since your board's just your coffee buddies. He pulled out his phone, showing a map app with property lines glowing red, his land encircling their precious lake access. See this? Your community picnics happen on my dirt. Gasps echoed, Barbara stammered. That's outdated. Adverse possession, we've used it for years. Daniel chuckled darkly. Adverse? You've been squatting on my generosity. But keep digging, that hole's getting deep. Her face flushed crimson, the pearls suddenly looking like a choke chain. Desperation bred stupidity. She filed a bogus environmental complaint, claiming his cabin polluted the lake. Inspectors swarmed, finding zilch. But Daniel used it to dig deeper. With Lisa's help, he uncovered invoices, fake ones, for lake dredging that matched Barbara's vacation timestamps. She's embezzling, Ramirez growled over beer one night. Dues for her Botox fund. Daniel's binder was now a tome of doom, falsified records, witness statements, even a whistleblower email from a former board member. She threatened me when I questioned the books, it read. Barbara's paranoia peaked. She cornered Daniel at the grocery store, hissing, "Drop this witch hunt, or I'll make your life hell." He set down his cart, voice low and mocking. "Hell? You've already tried evictions, fines, lies. But guess what? I'm not the one sweating." Her eyes darted, the Queen sensing rebellion. Neighbors boycotted her mandatory meetings, dues payments lagged. The air crackled with impending explosion. Daniel's patience a fuse burning short. The blow-up came at the spring HOA assembly. A packed hall buzzing like a hive about to swarm. Barbara, in her power suit armor, banged the gavel like a judge on steroids. "Order! Tonight, we address the threat to our harmony, Daniel Thompson's defiance." She projected slides of his cabin, circled and read like a crime scene. "This eyesore devalues us all. He's spread vicious rumors, undermining our board's integrity." Murmurs rose, her loyalists clapped weakly. Daniel stood, binder under arm, voice cutting through like a knife. "Rumors? Let's talk facts." He slapped the deed on the projector table. "This lake, this lot you park on, mine since '62. Your bylaws? They stop at my line. Slides flipped, tax stubs, surveys." The room hushed. "And Barbara's maintenance fees? Pockets lined with your cash." He unveiled invoices, ghost contractors, padded bills. "Here's $5,000 for dock work that never happened, right after her Bahamas trip." Gasps turned to outrage. Ramirez boomed. "She fined my Navy flag," said it clashed, "while stealing our dues." Lisa added. "Threatened us over a swing set, called it non-compliant fun." Barbara slammed the podium, face a mask of fury. "Lies. This is sabotage. I'll sue for slander." But Daniel dropped the bomb. "Sue. The IRS is already here." Doors swung open, agents strode in, badges flashing. "Barbara Klein. You're under arrest for fraud, embezzlement, and wire fraud." Her scream pierced the air. "No! You can't, I'm protecting the community." Handcuffs clicked, she thrashed, pearls scattering like defeated troops. Phones recorded her meltdown, the smug facade shattering into sobs. Neighbors cheered grimly as she was hauled out, one yelling, "About time!" In the chaos, an agent murmured to Daniel, "This scam's bigger, other HOAs linked." "You blew the lid off." The hall erupted in relieved chatter, the tyrant's reign crumbling in real time. In the aftermath, Whispering Pines exhaled. The HOA dissolved in a landslide vote, its coffers audited and refunded. Neighbors rebuilt without the iron fist, potlucks on the lake, Daniel's Lake, now shared fairly. No more fines for wrong holiday lights. Daniel fixed his roof with help from Ramirez, who slapped his back. "You played it smart, kid." Watched her hang herself. Lisa baked him cookies, admitting, We were blind to her BS. Daniel just shrugged. Power corrupts when unchecked. Grandpa taught me, own your ground. But don't lord it. The lake sparkled freer. A symbol of reclaimed peace. But whispers lingered, calls from nearby towns about similar HOA scams. Begging advice. Daniel stared at the water one dusk. Deed in hand. Realizing this wasn't the end. Legacy endured, tyrants fell. Yet, as leaves rustled, he pondered the irony in chasing control. Barbara lost everything, while his quiet stand won it all. So, was Daniel the villain for flipping the script? Or was Barbara the real squatter on borrowed power? Tell me. Who's truly in the wrong here?